one very powerful thing amongst other things as it relates to education is everyone needs it.
True.
So regardless of your background, your cultural experiences, your nationality, everyone needs an education.
Right.
Welcome to the Golden Group Strategic Growth Podcast, featuring expert insights, interviews with thought leaders, and business plan triage. Hosted by Kyle Golding, award-winning entrepreneur, CEO, and Chief Strategic Idealist for the Golden Group.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Strategic Growth Podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Golding. I'm joined today by Suzette Chang and Corey Walker. Suzette and Corey have been on the podcast before, but not the conversation we're going to have today. We're going to have a little bit different conversation. So Suzette is the executive director of Thick Descriptions, a nonprofit that we will discuss in detail today. Corey, along with being the principal and founder at Insight Partners Recruiting, is the board president at Thick Descriptions. Correct?
You are correct.
And in full disclosure, I'm a board member as well. So
Thank you.
We're going to talk about today an event you have coming up that the public is invited to for some barbecue and some fun and some live music to support Thick Descriptions. So we want to understand first, what is Thick Descriptions? Tell the people what this organization is and does.
Okay, so Thick Descriptions, our mission is to disrupt traditional educational methods with anthropology. Our focus is education. We have 3 disruptors. One of our most popular is STEAM, and the A for us is anthropology. And we do that during school breaks to help bridge the learning gap.
So a lot of people understand STEM, right? And STEAM is when we add the A. Often other people refer to that as art.
Correct.
But we're
a big A. They're
big
a little
A, anthropology. So for someone right now who's thinking what exactly does she mean by anthropology, and how does that incorporate into STEM that becomes STEAM?
Got it. So the primary component of anthropology is cultural anthropology. And so we blend cultural experiences with STEM, so science, technology, engineering, and math, plus cultural anthropology.
And how does that addition help young people learn?
So it's weaving in their historical experiences, their language, their understandings as it relates to something that can serve as a pipeline for their career, meaning STEM-related work.
And why do we need to disrupt education?
Well,
loaded question.
Yes.
On purpose.
Yes.
Intentional.
He knows. However, we'll go there. So Oklahoma ranks in the bottom 10 as it relates to education, K through 12. And most adults in Oklahoma read and or comprehend at a 5th grade level. So that's 1. 2, it is not an issue of not having the resources in Oklahoma. It's access. And so Thick Descriptions helps to bridge that gap of making sure that access to a quality education is available.
And I think anyone can understand, the better educated our young people are, the better prepared they are for the world, become better citizens, essentially workers in the workforce.
Correct.
And eventually, they'll take care of us when we're
that's the plan.
When we're older and they're running things.
That's the plan.
Right. So
and if
we want to
don't
educate them as well as possible.
We do. We want to invest in them.
Right. Now, Corey, would you say, is this a true statement or a false statement that that learning should be a one-size-fits-all scenario?
No, not at all. And I think that's one thing that our organization really focuses on, taking the lead of anthropology, really understanding that education should be really customized around your background, where you come from. I come from a different background where I grew up in an urban area versus maybe someone that grew up in a rural area. So I think we really look at just providing different pathways for people to have that education. And our pathway may not be the right pathway, but we just want to offer other opportunities for people.
And I feel pretty rough for you having to grow up, from Texas. So coming to Oklahoma from Texas, but you're here now. You're here now, and you're a great Sooner. You're a great Sooner fan, right? You grad. So we have claimed you from Texas. So you've already
definitely home now.
You've already increased your potential right there.
There you go.
Right.
As you guys can tell, we know each other pretty well, so we can give each other a hard time.
We do.
So let's talk a little bit about this barbecue fundraiser, because you talk about having a good time. This is going to be a great event. how many years have we been doing this barbecue?
This will be our 4th year.
So 4th year. It's going to be
Yes.
May 18th. So coming up soon, May 18th at Broke Brewing, which is at 3010 North Tulsa.
Yes.
They're our hosts. We're going to be actually in the parking lot. You can't miss us,
No,
right?
that
Taking
is
over the
correct.
whole space. So
That is correct.
we're going to have Broke Brewing with their beer. You're
Yes.
cooking barbecue, a
Yes.
variety of different barbecue.
Corey is pulling out
Right.
the barbecue skills.
There's a lot of people to
again.
help as well. So I have to say
So
a lot of
barbecue, there's live music.
Yes.
There's places to sit inside, outside.
Yes.
We're going to have some local businesses there,
Yes.
giving out information about their services, etc. So
That is
it's a
correct.
whole day of fun
Yes.
and excitement, and people can learn a little bit more about thick description, or
Correct.
they can just come get some barbecue.
Yes, or both.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Hey,
They could do both.
Chef Corey, what are you cooking?
So we do have one of our
Chef
board members.
Corey. Wait a
so
minute.
that's
Pause.
a new one.
Chef
Well,
Corey. I
you know,
love it.
you
Okay,
know.
you know that's your new name.
I
now.
gave him grief about Texas, so I had to pump him back.
There you
up.
go.
Okay,
you
there
go.
it is.
One of our wonderful board members, Bill, is going to be making a lot of pork butt, which I think is going to be awesome. We've had the past couple years. Definitely have some great sausage, a couple different meats as well with sides. Kind of to be determined at this point, but we're going to have some really great stuff, and we'll have it for to go as well. So if anybody can't stay or they want to grab 4 or 5 meals worth, we'll have it. So.
And ultimately, what we're doing is we're raising money for thick descriptions,
Correct.
but specifically for every dollar that is put towards someone's barbecue lunch, what's going to happen with that money, and how are you going to utilize it?
So it will all go towards our STEM programming, and it will pay for supplies. It will pay for our teachers. So we actually have teachers that have been certified, and they will teach the kids anthropology and STEM related stuff. I don't think we will need food, so money won't go towards food because we've been able to partner with some really cool organizations that donate food. So yeah, it will go towards activities and supplies and paying the teachers.
And you brought up partners. Who are some of the supporters of thick description overall, and then who are going to be some of your partners for the barbecue fundraiser?
So far for the barbecue fundraiser, Winco has agreed to be a sponsor. Tinker Federal Credit Union has agreed to be a sponsor. Think Solar has agreed to be a sponsor. And so there are a few others that we are just waiting for confirmation. As it relates to organizations that have supported thick descriptions as a whole, it is the Oklahoma City Community Foundation that has been a wonderful supporter. Kirkpatrick Family Foundation. I get them confused, so bear with
yes,
me.
Kirkpatrick's name are on a lot of things
yes,
around town.
Yes. And we are in conversation with some other organizations as well that are really committed to what we're doing. Again, as you said, one size does not fit all.
Right. So as an executive director for this nonprofit focused on disrupting, which by disrupt we mean improving education. Now, Corey and I are business owners, and we deal with other business owners, and we deal with people who are looking for jobs and looking for employment and out in the economic ecosphere. So ultimately, education is the support system for being able to run a business and be able to employ people, being able to have great employees, right? So this is beginning a better cycle for a process that affects everyone in our whole community.
That is correct. You hit it right on the head.
So give a little bit more depth. If someone was listening to me right now going, I don't really connect the dots between young people in school and business owners and employees, connect the dots there and let people understand why it's so important for those young people to be better prepared for the real world.
Happy to take a shot at it. Let me
Go right ahead.
Yeah, I think first, from a mission standpoint, as an organization, we really try to give people access to things they may not necessarily have access to. So one of my favorite projects we've done, I think it was a summer or 2 summers ago, was taking a group of children. A lot of them had never even been on an airplane to see the back half of an airport, how an airplane works and all those different things. And just seeing a lot of their eyes and hearing a lot of the stories about, I didn't even know that career path existed for me. I think that's a really great opportunity for kind of opening that lane of thought. I think also we're entering a new workforce. I mean, 20 years ago, everyone had to have a bachelor's degree. I think we're showing that that's not necessarily the case. And we've partnered with some of our local metro techs as well as technology to really kind of help create that curiosity through life. And I think that does begin at an early age as well, and really setting up a place where people don't necessarily just have to follow the example of the generations that came before them, and they have other opportunities because, as we know, education funding isn't abundant currently, and there's not a lot of opportunities. So we want to be there for that. And also we have programs that create that adult space as well. So,
and as executive director, how do you look to the business community and the community as a whole, whether it is concerned citizens, volunteers, or maybe someone who's a supporter, but through their business or individually, to engage an organization like Thick Description? How can people help out and get involved?
Well, first and foremost, definitely check out our website and our social media. And then you're welcome to give us a call. Myself, Corey, I would argue any of the board members or our team are more than welcome to have that conversation. The good news is there's a lot of opportunities to do things different as it relates to education in Oklahoma. And so if being a volunteer is something that you want to be involved in, that's fine. If you want to financially be invested, the investment opportunities are limitless.
And as, again, when we talk about business, community, collaboration is always essential, right? The more people you can involve, the more connections you can make, the more beneficial you make it for everyone.
Agreed. One very powerful thing amongst other things as it relates to education is everyone needs it. True. So regardless of your background, your cultural experiences, your nationality, everyone needs an education. Right. It's like, what is it? My mom used to say this a lot: roof over your head, clothes on your back, and food in your stomach. The basic necessities. Right. Healthcare and education is right up there.
They come next. Right?
It's right up there. And so the good news collectively is Oklahoma is realizing that we need to do something different with our education system. The way we've always done things, it's not working for everyone, or it's not working for a majority. And so Thick Descriptions with other organizations, I don't want to suggest that we're the only ones, but we are the only ones that incorporate anthropology as a way to shift the way we've always done things.
You know, I'm a huge fan of disruption.
Yes.
I love disruptors at all type, typically business, but in this case, I love the idea of disrupting education.
Yes.
One of the ways you do that is your podcast.
Yes.
Talk about your podcast.
So another disruptor outside of the STEAM learning journeys is Elephant in the Room Unboxed. And so we come here and have very uncomfortable conversations about topics typically that are specific to Oklahoma and some that are overlapping. And then a goal is to provide tools and resources for people to get involved and do something. So the time of, oh my gosh, did you see what happened to and not doing anything? That's done.
Right.
We got to do something. And that's a way that we disrupt, is making sure that not only people understand what's going on, that there are resources out there to do the work with us.
And the first step of fixing problems is acknowledging that elephant in the room.
Right. There is a problem.
You
came over full circle there.
I think as well, Suzette, I think Elephant in the Room, as well as Crown Teas, which is another successful program of ours, is opening the platform to have awkward conversation without no one being offended. So I think...
which is super rare these days.
Absolutely.
Right.
And I think from an anthropology standpoint, we always say, I came from a certain pathway. I don't know the answers. I'm not going to assume, but I want to listen and develop and a different viewpoint. So I think it's really just a platform to have those conversations. I think we really view ourselves as a pipeline for that and how to help people just kind of get the ball rolling, you know?
Agreed.
So you guys have heard why this is important. We need to be supporting the disruption that's happening through Thick Description, through their programming, through their podcast, etc. And what a delicious way to do that is by coming to the barbecue, May 18th, Broke Brewing, 3810 North Tulsa. Of course, all this is on your social media and on your website.
Yes.
If you can't remember, it starts at noon.
Starts at noon until sold out, which will probably be 3 o'clock.
So noon for a couple hours. Don't dilly-dally. You might miss out. Of course, you can have a local brewer if you're there as well, if that's something that you're excited about. Meet board members and volunteers, learn more about Thick Descriptions, learn more about some of the organizations that support them, and have some great barbecue as well. Have some fun with it. And at the same time, you should also go check out the last time you and I talked on this podcast, which was right a little over a year ago.
Oh, wow.
I think
Has it
we had a
been?
discussion about thick description on this podcast. So you guys check out a past episode featuring Suzette Chang. And a couple of years ago, I had Corey on the podcast, maybe 2, possibly 3 years ago. It's been a minute. So Corey's episode is on the podcast channel as well. And you can find Corey at insightpartners.com. That's NCITE partners.com. You can find Suzette and Thick Descriptions at thickdescriptions.org. Making sure I said org and not com.
Right.
Thickdescriptions.org.
Yes.
And as we end today, explain to people what a thick description is.
Thank you for asking. So it is an anthropological term. It means that everything and everyone can be defined in a thick and descriptive way.
That's a beautiful thing. So check out the website, check out the social media, check out the barbecue fundraiser, and help us better education in Oklahoma through disruption via anthropology. Thank you guys for being on the podcast today.
Thank you for listening to the Golden Group Strategic Growth Podcast. Please subscribe so you never miss an episode. Follow the Golden Group on social media. For more information, past episodes, or to contact us, please visit thegoldengroup.com.